Well, hello, retail traders. Please hit that like button and subscribe. This is the Sneaky Snake trading strategy where we talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. So I'm going to go straight into what the subject is, and it's going to be a retake of the last video I did on the woke stocks where I thought we were going to break out. I guess that slipped in there. It's our secret. Budweiser, Target, Nike, and I added Disney, and we're going to talk about TAP. So I'm going to show you where support levels are on these breakouts. Every one of them had a breakout when we called this out from this here channel of the snake. All three of them right about the same time. So let's go ahead and get into the charts themselves. The first one we got right off the bat is going to be Budweiser. Let me see if I can find it here. There it is. This is Budweiser. This is the knife we caught down here at the bottom of this here channel. See, this was a gap call we made right down in here, and we called that bottom right at 52.93. So it created a head of this here inverse head and shoulders. And this is the snake and the breakout. So we need to have a pullback. I think what we did is hit a resistance level. Right up in here is, if you look back, and this was in the yearly chart on the daily time frame, we have what you call a Darvas box. And I'm going to go ahead and draw a resistance line where I think that Darvas box is, and it's going to be right about in here. And the bottom part of that resistance is going to be right about there. And that's going to be the Darvas box that we're going to be trying to chime into. But during the Sneaky Snake trading strategy, you have a snake, breakout, pull back, and boom. Or we could have already said it happened already down in here when it broke out, came back and touched that old support line, which was a resistance. So now we're at the 51, and we're also at the top of this here shoulder line of these three head shoulders. These are all heads right here. This is your shoulder blade, and then you've got your neckline right up in here. So we've got a Darvas box, inverse head and shoulders as resistance with the 51. So I can see this easily pulling back and hitting that 200 SMA or stopping before this here gap fill. So what we're going to do is we're going to write a price line right there under that gap, right about in there at 57.98, right at 58 bucks. So if that holds, we're still bullish. If not, she's going to pull back and maybe bounce off this 200 SMA, and that'll keep it as a pivot point to keep it bullish to move up. If we get into a bad week, it can easily drop down into the bottom of this here gap right here, which would be a very strong buy, I think, at 56.63. So we'll just have to see what it looks like. If not, we could always pull back to this shoulder line and load the boat, because there's your head right there. So the next one on the list is Target. Target, same boat. This was definitely way oversold. Now I know a lot of fat cats like the stock. They're going to load up on it, especially at Stephanie Link. So here's our snake. We had the breakout, pull back, and then we had the boom up to the 21. So it definitely pulled back to support right here at 133.98. That's right where we are, right where she closed at. So that can hold, and that'd be a good spot hanging off that 9 here on the daily. So if it retraces back up, you could probably go long to this and hit that 51 if it breaks the 137.99. So support no lower than the 130. First one needs to hold at 134, 133.88, and then resistance to break will be the 138 up to the 51 EMA for an exit idea. And the next one on that list is Nike. Nike's also took a hit in the woke section, and we're going to try to find that again. We'll type in Nike here. Now they're going to keep buying their stuff, so Nike's not going to get hit that hard. It might get hit a little bit, but you know. So it did get hit hard along with all the other wokeness, and they all broke out about the same time. And this one here has already hit resistance. It's already hit resistance at that 51. Now, it can find some more resistance off this shoulder line of this inverse head and shoulders right here. So we're going to draw a price line where I think the next resistance will be, and it's going to be on that 50 SMA at 117.61. Now the same thing goes with this. It has to break that 51 EMA. If not, she'll pull back and hit the 200 SMA, or even fall down a little farther. And you know, I'd hate for it to see come down off this engulfing candle. I don't think earnings are going to get hurt that bad unless we get into a deep recession, which that can happen. So yeah, I mean, it'd be really nice if it held that 200. Let's look at the weekly, see if I can just get a little different look at it. Yeah, no lower than this 108, this 107.80. That's definitely a strong support. If that thing holds at 107.80, this can bounce back up and run up into that 200 on the weekly. $117.61 would be your resistance. So no lower than 107.80, and that's beautiful. It'd be the bottom of that candle, but that'd be a very, 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 very strong buy. Very strong, very strong. I mean, you watch. If we hit that 107.80, mark that date down, come back and hit the like button. But that'd be a very strong buy. We want it to hold the 200 SMA and run up to the 50. That's Nike. And then we have Disney. Disney's been just a total failure. They getting involved in politics. They all are getting involved in politics. But this thing can easily come down and have a triple bottom off this wedge. Like we did right here, we had a triple bottom, and then, you know, she bounced up. But this could easily come down and touch that triple bottom or a double bottom right there, right around 87.60, and be a very strong buy. There's your head, and there's your shoulder line. There's your shoulder line. So yeah, I'd come down and touch that 87.60, run up and try to break past the 200 SMA, which has had a very hard time doing in the past 4 months. So yeah, the top of that trend line would be a triple top break. So very hard resistance, which equals almost an equilibrium to the pivot point on the yearly chart. I think the pivot point's right about in here, right around 90, right under $100, right around 99.69. I mean, no lower than that, no higher than that. That's your pivot point on the yearly chart for sure. And that's right at the 200 SMA. So let's go over a recap here. Triple bottom down here at 87.60. If it holds, be a double bottom right there, but we're going to count it as a 3. And then you've got resistance to break is going to be the 51 EMA. And if you can break the 51 EMA, it's an easy target up to this here trend line for a new kind of resistance, a new pattern to show up, something new. I don't think it's going to skyrocket out of there. But you can get $3 or $4 off this trade. I know you can. That won't be too bad in the option land. So we're going to look at TAP. TAP took advantage of the bud. Look at this. I mean, she pulled right back to support Friday. So this needs to hold. If it doesn't hold, it can, you know, drop down and try to fill this gap down here. And I would say that the low support at $65 would be nice to hold. If not, it's going to be another shoulder line trade right at $63. There's your head, and there's your shoulder, and you got another shoulder over here, which creates an inverse head and shoulder bounce back up to a higher level. Right now, we broke support or resistance, and we broke support. So it's going to be a squeeze. And if this thing knifes down and hits the 21 or creates that neck, that shoulder line, I mean, it'll come here and complete the neck, which is right here. So it's going to be a good one to watch, Tap. I think we get the pull back, but if not, she gains respect off the 9 EMA. She'll run back up double top and break on out to the next resistance. And that resistance line is like this. You just draw your trend line from there to the top of that candle, the body of that candle, and extend that out to the right. And there you are, right at 68 bucks. And that'll be a very hard resistance, a triple top on a vertical slant. So that's it for wokeness. Hope everybody has a great trading. Remember, the market don't open until Tuesday. Got plenty of time to do your homework. Have a great day, retail traders.